I felt like, oh, this is a weapon fashioned against me. I have to fight it. And pray and call my mom. My mom is the chief motivator. That woman motivates you back to this thing. Oga, stand up and do what you have to do. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda Matsi, and this is the face of somebody that is very frustrated with content creation. I love it, but the setbacks can be a bit overwhelming. Which leads me to the topic for today: how to stay motivated when life feels very, very overwhelming. I'm sure you can tell from my face that I'm a little bit pissed. But not necessarily pissed, more like exhausted, frustrated, and a bit overwhelmed, Not so overwhelmed, but I'm like kind of like there and nowhere at the same time. But I'm going to use this medium to encourage everyone who are content creation, either for YouTube, Instagram, and any other social media platform. You guys are trying. In fact, we are trying to put our content out there about ourselves. And yeah. Anywho, like you already know, my name is Amanda Matsi, and once again, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time, make sure it's not your last, and please subscribe, like, share, comment. Try and watch all my videos, But if it is not your first time, thank you for coming back here to hear what I have to say. Your WMVP and your rock. So, like I said, the topic for today is how to stay motivated, especially when you feel very overwhelmed, when life is giving you bad boosts left, right, and center. I think a few weeks ago, I kind of uploaded a video about, a poem that I wrote, and I kind of like made like short snippets here and there about how I was feeling unmotivated, how it's the new year, and I don't feel like doing anything. And even if I feel like doing something will come and thwart my efforts, like it is right now. I mean, like a few moments ago, I recorded a video and my mic wasn't working, and wow, it kind of pissed me off a bit. And I'm like, why? Something would just tell me, check your video, don't go too far. And I recorded almost 30 minutes of a video and nothing. I couldn't hear myself in the rest. That's a bit frustrating. So let's be honest, I don't have it all figured out. I may look like I have it figured out, which is a facade that I don't intentionally put up. Everybody tries to show their good sides regardless. There's some days I wake up and I want to conquer the world. There's some days I'm like, I just want to stay in bed, and before you know it, you're in bed for like 2-3 days and you've not been productive. So I get it. I feel like every other person in this world experiences that. Even the genius of people in the world feel that too. But what really matters is learning how to keep going even when you don't feel like it. It is hard to motivate yourself, especially if you kind of depend on other factors to help keep you motivated. Like for example, I like to be a part of a group class during gym to keep me motivated. If not, I probably won't go to the gym at all, because the thought of having people working out with me, and it's just fun and interesting, rather than doing it by myself, carrying weights, and like it's just annoying, So yeah, the most important part is to keep going and never giving up, right? Just keep going. The eyes of the prize, baby girl. There are a few things I like to do to keep myself grounded and to keep myself going somehow. One of them is acknowledging the overwhelm, like acknowledging that I am overwhelmed. So I think that is one of the first steps that I take. Instead of pushing it away and forcing motivation upon myself, I try to acknowledge the fact that I'm okay, I'm overwhelmed. I put a lot of pressure on myself to outperform, or just come out the best in everything that I'm doing. But sometimes it's how it is now. It's pretty overwhelming. You have to acknowledge the fact that you have to put yourself back and say, okay, I'm getting to that point where I get overwhelmed. And when I am overwhelmed, I'm speaking for myself. When I'm overwhelmed, my thought process is everywhere and nowhere. So I've started giving myself moments to feel that period of feeling, like overwhelmed. I started taking moments to breathe, to stay calm, to take it slow, and to admit that I should, put a pause or slow down, baby girl, just breathe. Whether that means journaling, praying, or just sitting silently and meditating to myself, or just being quiet and listening to my air condition blow cold air or anything of that sort. I just sit in silence and just take deep breath and allow myself feel how overwhelmed I am. And in that moment, in a way, it kind of like helps me calm down. I found out that giving myself permission to feel that feeling at the time is better than forcing motivation, because there are times where you force motivation and you realize that you're overworking or overworking yourself, your mind, and at that time your mind just wants to take a breather. And this is the point where you acknowledge your overwhelm and take time to breathe. Take time to breathe. It helps a lot. So number 2 for me is focusing on small manageable steps that I love to take. Like, this is a no-brainer for me, and it is in the process of acknowledging that I need to take a step and breathe and acknowledge my feelings and the overwhelm that I now start thinking of the process to focus on smaller manageable actions or steps to help me get to where I need to get to. Feel me? When life feels very overwhelming, big goals can feel very unachievable. Like, you cannot get to that point. You're like, oh my God, this is so big for me to get through to. But that's a lie. So instead of having that mindset of, oh, I need to do things now, if I don't do it now, I'm probably going to seem incompetent or I'll be lagging behind. No, that is not the time to push us all those big tasks on yourself. Instead, break them into small manageable steps. There's something I put out on my Instagram when the new year started. I talked about how to break down your goals into smaller goals. And in the space of since January, I'm writing a book, and I noticed how I have written two chapters rather, because I've given myself small, like I've broken my goals into small goals to achieve every week. So every day when the new week starts, I have a goal of what I want the week to be like. Or even when the month starts, I'm like, oh, I want to be able to achieve this month. And then this week, I'll be able to achieve this week. I'm breaking what I have planned to do for the month into smaller chunks. And before you know it, you realize that you've actually written a whole lot more pages than you envisaged or even imagined. So that is what has been working for me, and I wish I even infused this into my goal planning back when I was younger, but I mean, it's not too late to learn. Number 3 for me is shifting your perspective on motivation. Now, I'm getting somewhere. I used to think that motivation was the key to everything, but the truth is, motivation follows action and not the other way around. When I wait for myself to feel motivated before I do anything, I end up not doing anything at all. I end up lazing around. But usually when I take the tiniest step forward, I find myself getting motivated to even do more. And before you know it, you're even achieving more than even planned to for that day or for the week or whatever, however you plan for it to be. This kind of like tricks my brain into action. So when I'm like, oh, I want to make content today, and I don't feel like it, I start imagining myself on makeup. I like makeup. So I'm like, okay, I am feeling lazy today. I might as well just stand up, shower. And before I know it, I'm showering, I'm having my bath, and I'm like, oh, I'm going straight to my makeup table and I'm trying to do my makeup. And because I don't want the makeup to waste, I then go for that to do my YouTube video. You see the trick? I kind of like just trick my brain into action. Like, okay, yeah, you've done your makeup now. You don't want the makeup to waste. So I go ahead to just make my videos. You get the drift. So you just shift your perspective on motivation. Trick your mind. Because the mind plays tricks on you. You should as well play tricks on your mind as well. Trick your mind to action. And to oblige you to follow through, because it doesn't have a choice, Number 4 for me is surround yourself with the right energy. This is very important. I've noticed that what I consume plays a huge role on my motivation level. When I surround myself with negativity, whether it's from the news or social media or just all around doubting myself, doubting my abilities to be, whoever I thought I was going to be, I find out that my motivation level goes down to zero and I don't want to do anything. But I've also noticed that when I channel my energy into positive things like not doubting myself or starting my day with listening to gospel music or starting my day with God's word or praying or just allowing myself be around people who inspire me. I hear their success stories or even not just, or I listen to podcasts that inspire me. I just feel all around motivated because I'm like, oh, they could do it, I can do it too, something of that sort. So when I surround myself with positivity, I see a spike in my motivation and not a decrease in my motivation. Instead, it goes higher. And we cannot avoid most of these things, the negativity that flies around us. It is not up to you to choose to stay positive and not be negative. I'm also speaking to myself as well because this week was, in fact, last week most importantly, I struggled with low motivation and I was struggling. I felt like, oh, this is a weapon fashioned against me. I have to fight it. And pray and call my mom. My mom is the chief motivator. That woman motivates you back to this thing. Oga, stand up and do what you have to do. Or sometimes she will tell you she knows what you need. I don't know how she knows, but how mothers are, but literally that's just what it is. And I am beginning to allow myself focus on the positive aspect of my life and not focus on negativity, not focusing on comparing myself because I think last week what took a chunk of my mind was comparison. With this person, we did this together, we started together, and look at where this person has gone, and I'm feeling, but something just keeps telling me that your story and their story will be the same. So you guys focus on yours and focus on being positive. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's not easy. I know that for free. But I'm trying to tell you that you should shift. Just focus on the positives and not the negatives. It helps with your motivation 100%. The fifth thing I would say you should try is lean on faith and give yourself grace. So when I feel very lost and unsure of myself, I always remind myself that God has everything figured out. I don't necessarily have to have all the answers, but I know that I can take it one step at a time and totally depend on Him to give me grace to keep going, because I don't need to know everything, but what I do know is that His plans are already set in motion for me. Whether I know it or I don't, it is set in motion, and I'm confident of that. And on some days when I don't feel like doing anything, I give myself grace to rest. Sometimes it's not even how the physical things you've engaged in or I've been working all day or anything that reduces your motivation level. Sometimes it's just your mind. Your mind is tired of thinking, of being overwhelmed, of overthinking certain things, and I just give myself grace to take a deep breath and rest. And that rest for me is sleep. Oh my days, I will sleep my problems away. So yeah, give yourself grace to rest for a bit and just take a breather. I also remind myself that my worth isn't tied to how productive I am. And sometimes taking a break can be the most productive thing that I can do because our mind need it so badly. And because our mind needs it, we have to go the extra mile to do what is needed to help us get that energy boost back to that pump to do something. The things that we always want to do, I will try to do and we're trying to achieve basically. So I would love to know what keeps you motivated. Share with me on my comment section and tell me how you keep yourself going, because sometimes it's hard. And anyone that tells you that, oh, they're always motivated, they're always ginger to do stuff every day, there is a lie somewhere in there. I'm not saying that you cannot be motivated every day, but it cannot be every day of your life, because there are days where you're like, I don't feel like doing anything. And those times when you don't feel like doing anything, how do you get yourself to start doing something so you can achieve your goals? So share with me on the comment section. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. Please do not forget to subscribe. And if the first time you're coming here, I love you so much for sticking around to listen to all I have to say. And also, if it's not your first time, you rock. Thank you for coming back to listen to all I have to say as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Most especially share. You never really know who needs to hear this. Have an amazing evening.